Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. Good to have you with us on this Tuesday. It is hashtag Tasty Tuesday. We have a special guest joining us very shortly, so stick around for that. And it's a Tuesday, which means we're closer to a weekend. We're almost halfway through a week. Dr. Toni Rao-Southerlan joining me this morning as my co-host. Toni, good to see you. A little bit chilly outside. I don't know if you've been out there yet, but I'll just say for us here in Texas and especially in Houston, it's darn cold out there.
Yes. But it's winter time, so it's supposed to be cold. So I like that part.
Now, we've been having that fake summer for the past, all of December. It was like in the 80s. It was like the hottest December on record, which is just crazy. And whenever it would get cold, and then towards the end of the month, we had that brief cold spell, and then it got warm again for a couple of weeks. Now we're back into the cold. So for those of you keeping score, we're at winter version 4.0 here in Houston, Texas. We'll be in the 70s by the end of the week, and it'll drop back down to the 50s. And they say, the marathon's happening this weekend. It's happening Sunday. Of course, I'm not running it this year, but they say it will be a low in the 30s and a high in the 40s for the marathon. So that is perfect running weather for those of you who are running the marathon.
Is it really?
We got a few of them watching us. I know we have at least, I think Dr. Amy Tan, she's like, I think she's looking to get in a 2-hour marathon this year. She's been running like for 1,500 days straight, and she's, preparing for the marathon. So anyway, good luck to her and all the marathoners. Hey, we're on HCCTV. We're now on at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. You can catch the show. If you don't catch us live on Facebook or YouTube every morning at 10 a.m., but not tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a second. But they can also follow us in social media. Toni, where can they find us?
Yes, they can. Just look for Houston Community College District, not the HCC, because there's a whole bunch of those. Houston Community College District on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over the place.
We are all over the place. So, Toni, I know you're an adjunct. And we're going to be, some changes were announced, I think on New Year's Eve for HCC's operations because of Omicron, and just about everybody's catching COVID right now. So you need to be careful. So we've delayed some classes as far as in person. So we're going to break that down. We'll talk about it. Maybe you can give us an idea of what you're doing with your classes as well.
No problem.
All right. We'll talk to you in a few minutes. We mentioned it's Tasty Tuesday, and we've got a special guest, executive chef from Musaafer restaurant. He's our Tasty Tuesday guest. Please welcome Mayank Istwal. Mayank, good to see you. I think we've got your mic still muted. If you can unmute your mic. And he's working on that right now. But Mayank is with Musaafer. Yes. There we go. And
good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning. Good to see you. First off, tell us where your restaurant is located.
So our restaurant is located on Westheimer. It's right on the face of the Galleria next to Saks Fifth Avenue. Where on the other side is Nobu and above Figanola.
How long have you guys been there?
So we opened in 2019 in the month of June, and we were open in the middle of the pandemic. And I tell people we don't know how to operate restaurant normally because we open in these kind of circumstances. So now
I know. Yeah, I was going to ask how that worked for you, because you opened right before the pandemic. You had about 6 or 8 months where you could operate normally. Then you went into lockdown. How did that work during the pandemic? Did you do a lot of to-go?
So pandemic was kind of very challenging times for us. We came up with a new idea of training people because we were in the hiring phase at that point of time. And we made online videos to teach people about Indian itself, from different ingredients. So it was kind of interesting, challenging times. And, we use technology to train people. But at the end of the day, we have to cook in the restaurant. We have to face the reality. People need to come work for us. But the good part was we was very lucky. Houstonians, they supported us very well since day one. We were busy. I know we opened like with 25% occupancy, then 50%, but we were always busy from day one. So that was a good part.
So Musaafer is a modern Indian restaurant, but you represent the region's 29 states. Tell us how you came to be chef there and a little bit about your cuisine.
Yes. So to conceptualize the restaurant itself, Musaafer means the traveler, literally means the traveler. So I went on a journey to all 29 states of India, making sure we are focusing on the traditional recipes and then bringing it back to the kitchens and giving a modern twist to it in terms of plating, using different textures in the food. And what we also did, we collaborated with a lot of spice plantations in India. So we focus on single origin spices that comes from specific plantations. And there are a lot of ingredients that are not known in this part of the world. So we also use those kind of ingredients. And there are little families that work with us very closely in India. We get a lot of our dry ingredients from there. So the concept is ingredients from India, the dry ingredients, fresh produce from where we are right now, and making it super accessible for everybody in Houston, and then trying something that they have never ever tried. So that's the whole idea behind these project.
And I understand your grandfather was a big inspiration for you. Maybe you could tell us about that.
So my grandfather was a doctor in Ayurvedic medicine. So Ayurvedic medicine is one of the traditional medicines. Even the homeopathy takes its roots from Ayurveda. So I learned Ayurvedic medicine from him. And then I invented Ayurvedic spice blends in India because I was so much interested in spices when I was growing up. So I combined the knowledge of Ayurveda with different herbs that they use and medicinal plants with the spices. And I make my own spice blends. Like every 3 months, every quarter, we change the menu. And even we also change the spice blends. So for the summer, we focus on the cooling spices. And the winters, we focus on the warming spices. And when it's like monsoon, it's rainy season, you see the flu season kicking in. So we focus on the spices that is like immunity boosting spices. So we focus on those kind of spices. So this is how we change our spice blend with the season. And we also, because the produce changes with the season. So the spices should also change. The spice box at your house should also change. So we focus on the health aspect of it as well. So I inherited this knowledge from my grandfather. Yeah.
And when I think Indian food, I'm not familiar with oysters in Indian cuisine, but you're going to be making an oyster dish for us this morning. Tell us a bit about that.
So, that's the crazy part. India is so tropically diverse. We have a beautiful coastal line, like we have the West Coast and the East Coast. So this oyster dish comes from the southern part of India on the West Coast, the state called Kerala. And the history goes back. There was a Syrian Christian family that came in for the spice trade in the 6th century. And they never left after that. And the entire community grew very vast in the entire Kerala. And it's their dish. And then they also incorporated a lot of herbs and different spices from that specific part. And since then, it's very popular. So I'll be making the molly oysters. This is like a very traditional, it's like first pressed coconut milk with a lot of shallots and ginger and turmeric in it, curry leaf, and then I'll put some breadcrumbs on top of it and
let's take a look and get started.
Perfect. Okay. So I have my pan ready right here. I have some coconut oil because in southern part of India, they use a lot of coconut oil because it's easily accessible because a lot of coconut trees around.
And coconut oil is also really big in the diet world nowadays. It's a big superfood, as they call it.
It's a big superfood. Yeah, absolutely. And so now I'm going to put some curry leaves. So I've just chopped these curry leaves. They actually look like this. They're very aromatic. And then I'm going to put some garlic, like a generous amount, like a tablespoon of it. Then some ginger in it. 1 tablespoon of ginger, like a lot of shallots.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot of shallots. That gives the body to the sauce itself. I'm going to quickly just saute it. And now the turmeric. This turmeric comes from southern part of India again. So we work with these small plantation, as I said. They make this, they ground this turmeric for us. It's like organically grown and a beautiful family. And they send us this turmeric every 2 months. So it's always fresh.
Is this one of your most popular dishes there?
This is one of the most popular dishes there. Then I'll put just 1 cup of pressed coconut milk, the virgin coconut milk. It's super sweet.
So with this, are you forming like something like a curry there?
Yeah, it's a kind of curry.
Okay.
And then I'll put some tomatoes just for that umami flavor in it.
Right.
And then a nice texture of the cilantro stalks, the stems of the cilantro. That is unbelievable. That really uplifts the flavor to a whole different level. I'm going to sprinkle some salt just to finish the dish. The sauce is ready. So it's a quick sauce. You can do it at home. One of the easiest dishes, but very flavorful. I've shucked some oysters.
Right.
I'm going to place some oysters in now.
So in Texas, we love our oysters. We love our cilantro. So I imagine this is a big hit with Texans.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So since we opened like day one, we've always had this dish. It's been so popular. And the dish is ready. And now we're gonna plate it really quick. So I have my salt base ready right here.
Right.
I have my shell of the oysters. Ooh.
There you go. Oh yeah. And you see all that sauce needs to go into a bowl and give us some naan to dip in it.
You can also do that. People enjoy this curry with actually with the shortbread rice.
Yeah,
people love this. You can do sea bass in it.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to throw in some breadcrumbs on top. And then it goes for baking. And this is the final product that we get.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
And this is the oysters. Is it pronounced moili?
Moili, yes.
Moili. Oysters, yes. Moili at Musaafer. Musaafer in the Galleria area. Incredible.
Galleria. Absolutely.
So this is a dish, I've got to hand it to you because I've had a lot of Indian food, but I've never seen a dish like this. And I imagine if I came to your restaurant, I'm going to see Indian food that I've never seen before. And that excites me.
As I said, these recipes, a lot of recipes are not in the mainstream. And we try to bring those recipes alive. Because lost recipes, forgotten recipes.
Right.
And that's what we're doing here in Musaafer.
Musaafer, check them out. They actually highlight all 29 regions, states in India, some excellent cuisine. They're located in the Galleria area. If you're interested in more information, we'll put some social media information or some posts in our social media post for them and links to where you can find them. Chef, we want to thank you for joining us on the show this morning. We wish you the best of luck with the restaurant, and I'm going to come out there and see you guys.
Perfect. Well, we're here to welcome you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chef.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to move on to Dr. Toni Rao-Southerlan. I guess, it was on New Year's Eve. We got a letter from the chancellor talking about how operations were changing at HCC. We go off for Thanksgiving, come back. Of course, I was lucky enough to catch one of the first breakthrough cases of COVID. So I'm done with that now, all over with. But then Omicron popped up, seemingly out of nowhere, and it really crippled the world, much less the United States and Houston. And right now, as we know, yesterday, the level in Harris County has been raised by Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo to the red threat level, which is the highest level. So HCC reimagined our operations, at least going into the semester, to let Omicron pass. And the theory is that Omicron may peak in January. We'll have to see how that goes. But nonetheless, our faculty and staff prepared operations, some to go virtually, some are happening in person. How is that going to work? Well, Dr. Toni Rao-Southerlan, our co-host here and employee at HCCTV. Toni, you're also an adjunct. And tell us which classes you taught and what you're teaching this semester.
Well, I actually have taught every kind of theater class you can come up with, to be honest with you. But here at HCC, I've taught the theater appreciation. But this semester, I will be teaching the stage makeup class.
And you've done that several times before.
I've done that a lot.
You brought them into the studio and did some work there and put them on video and all that.
Yeah. Yes. It's a fun class. Of course, it's one of those kind of classes where it's better if you're working with them in person, because you're putting on makeup, you're watching them how they're putting on makeup, you're helping them, because we do special effects. So we work with prosthetics and things like that. So it's not just normal makeup.
Right.
So you have to work with them on that.
Are we talking Tom Savino type of makeup? I'm sure you're familiar with him.
We don't have time to go into extreme prosthetics, but we do teach them how the basics of it. So they can go into it in more detail later if they want. We could even teach masks, how to make masks, but we don't really go into that too deeply either. I kind of go over it, but not a whole lot. But the thing is, there was a time where it was all in person. And then when COVID came, I had to teach it online only, which was a lot of fun. And then, and then now this semester is going to be what we call hybrid, which means part of it will be in person, part of it will be online. But then when the chancellor put out the notice, what we decided was that for this particular class, it would be, in January, we would keep it online only. And then hopefully in February, we'll go to the in-person thing.
Yeah. And I guess all that is subject to change depending on what Omicron does. And if we can get past this wave of COVID, at least in the next few weeks. They're saying it's going to peak. So I guess the good thing about this is you've taught online, you've conducted the class online, so you were somewhat prepared to pivot to strictly online, at least through the end of the month. Have you talked to your other colleagues, other faculty members, and are they doing pretty much the same?
Pretty much. I mean, as I said, some classes are easier to go to online than others because in theater, it's really one-on-one, person to person. But we've all done it all online before, so we all know what we're going to do to carry it through. And hopefully it won't last the whole semester anyway. So that's a good thing.
So I guess the big question is, because I imagine there's a lot of confusion among some students right now. Have your students reached out to you, or did you reach out to them and say, hey, look, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to handle things, at least through January, and be prepared. It could be longer, or we could go back in February. Have you been able to reach out to the students that way yet?
Yes. To begin with, and what we really want the students to know is there is on our website, you can go and there's what you put in is your 5-digit CRN number for that particular class. And you put that in, and then it will tell you what you're going to do for January. And we say that because if we just give you a general, well, if you're this, then you do that, it's not necessarily so, especially in our department, because we have so many different variables to things. So if they put in for example, my CRN, they'll know that it's online on a schedule for in January. But not just that, we as instructors are emailing our students. So check your emails, specifically your student email, and we will let you know what's going on. So there's 2 ways to put in your 5-digit code for your class, each class, and it'll tell you specifically what to do, and or the instructor will email you.
And I know classes start next week on Tuesday. In fact, registration is underway right now. I know you may have not had a chance to speak with your students. Maybe some of them are returning. Maybe you know a few of them. But have you heard anything from the students as to how they're feeling about all this? Because I know there was some students may have some trepidation about going into a class with other classmates. Some of them may say, I just want to get back to normal. What have you heard from the students, and what have they told you?
It basically is kind of like, here we go again,
yeah,
type of thing. And, they prefer, especially in theater, they prefer to in person. But they understand, and they don't want to get COVID and et cetera. So, they're just, it's kind of wait and find out what we do and let's do it, It's
I guess the whole thing,
I mean, it's not totally new because they've been here before.
And we're coming up on 2 years of this new normal we've been living in since March of 2020. It's hard to believe we're coming up on 2 years of this, and things still haven't worked out. But I guess the main thing is, HCC is all, a lot of other colleges and universities have done the same thing where they're delaying their classes. Some of them through, the January or February, some of them at least a couple of weeks. I know U of H is doing something like a soft opening. I'm not sure what that means. It sounds like a restaurant, but they're doing something different. So everyone seems to be, all the college community seems to be taking this very seriously as it is. Mm-hmm.
When you say red, we're not just saying a little bit. This is a real, thing to be concerned about. So we have to take the precautions and take it seriously.
Well, I think that the term that they use with red is uncontrollable spread. And that's kind of what I'm hearing where we are right now, you do hear a lot about this thing. I talk to everybody, and tell them, of course, we had COVID, we were vaccinated, didn't have the boosters, but we were vaccinated, and it happened around Thanksgiving. Most people, it wasn't happening then. Omicron kind of popped up after that, and then it started going everywhere. And you talk to some people, well, it was mild. I got news for you folks. What we had was not, my wife and I had was nothing but mild. It was very, very severe, and it was not fun. You don't wish this upon anybody. And we all need to take, we all need to take it seriously. What's that?
I think if you didn't die, it was considered mild.
I guess if that's what they're considering mild, then okay, we had mild, but man, it was bad, and it was not fun. It was probably the sickest I've been, and I know it's the sickest my wife has ever been. She was pretty much out for about 5 weeks with this thing. So it's a serious thing going out there, and HCC is taking this very seriously. So the delay in the in-person classes, a number of them, we're doing that for everyone's safety. So please keep flexible and stay safe out there, and we'll all do our part to try to get past this thing and get back to some type of normal life. Toni, I guess you're looking forward to kicking things off next week with your classes, huh?
Absolutely. I can't wait. I love dealing with the students and communicating with them. So it's going to be fun.
All right, we got a couple announcements, got time for a few of them. One thing we want to let everybody know, the Media Arts Student Showcase, it's the end of the semester compilation screening of student projects from filmmaking, audio recording technology, and the music business programs is happening 7 p.m. Saturday, January 15th. That's this Saturday. It's free. Of course it's free. It's on the MVP Arts YouTube channel, and we'll have a link in our social media post. And then the MBDA is having an event coming up on the 19th of this month.
Yes, the HCC's Minority Business Development Association, that's what the MBDA stands for, is still working with minority businesses. Wednesday, January 19th, 11:30 to 1 p.m. Is one of their things that are coming up, and it's there to help minority businesses grow.
Okay, students, if you're worried about finances, don't let that worry you. We've got lots of money to help you through HERF funding, which is the Higher Education Emergency Relief Funding in the wake of COVID. That's available for you. You have to register to get some of that. We also have financial aid available in other scholarships. And we have 2 employment programs for eligible students needing a little help paying for school or just paying for life as you go through school. The Path to Profession, this program provides students with employment opportunities within their field of study. Students who secure positions with community business partners will be able to earn money and gather real-world experience to enhance their education. Also, the work-study program. We hire a lot of those work-study students here at HCCTV. If you're looking to get into it, eligible students are encouraged to take advantage of this program to earn and learn while you attend classes. I want to also remind everyone, Toni, there's no up to the minute tomorrow.
No, because there's a swearing in, right, of new trustees. And so we're going to cover that, I believe, on Facebook. Is that right?
Yeah. So what happens is the Board of Trustees meetings will start at 2 p.m. tomorrow. We always broadcast them live on our YouTube channel. So that's happening. But most importantly, at 9:30 a.m., we have a number of newly elected trustees and ones who were reelected. They'll be sworn in tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. in a special ceremony. So in honor of that ceremony, that'll be ongoing. We will not have up to the minute tomorrow, but we will return on Thursday, January the 13th. So we'll be live again at 10 a.m. on Thursday. And finally, we want to let you know that you can register for the spring semester. We were just talking about it. We're already in 2022 and registration's available, Toni.
Yes, and do it now. As I say, go to the hccs.edu/now because classes are small. We're trying to keep them small because of the COVID thing. And but after in February, whenever you'll be able to do all kinds of 5 different kind of ways: online, anytime, on a schedule, hybrid, in person, hybrid lab. We do believe that will start back up in February, but register now because classes are small. You want to get in the class you want to get into, so you need to register now.
That's right. hccs.edu/now is the website to register today. Make sure you get it done. Okay, no show tomorrow, but when we return on Thursday, after the board meetings, we'll continue our traditional week of welcomes from the college presidents. We've got Dr. Musaafer Siddiqui will be joining us. He's the president of HCC Central College, and it's Thursday, Virtual Family Fun Day. The guests will be Austin's Blanton Museum. Want to learn about that? Well, Toni will be talking to him on Thursday.
That'll be
all right, Toni. Yep. So you're back. We'll be back in Thursday at 10 a.m. I'll be here. Toni will be here. And we hope we see all of you live at 10 a.m.